Okay, so your title is simple interest. So simple interest is basically it's earnings are paid on a fixed amount or principal. Okay, principal is just money. It's not about money. Okay, principal is just really about money. It's more of a finance term. Okay. So simple interest is basically like investments. Okay, we don't really use it anymore because these investments they grow really slow. Okay, it takes a lot of years to build up. So an investment is saying like if I put money into the bank for like retirement funds, 401ks, for my parents have. They're not a simple interest. They're called something else, and we'll discuss that tomorrow. But that's exactly what kind of like what we're talking about. We put money into the bank for something to grow over time, so that when we're ready to retire, we have money there that has been sitting and growing to help us out with paying our bills and living a normal life that we were used to when we used to work. Okay. Also, it just you're putting money in to grow later that you can use for whatever you want. It's up to you, or if you pass down to your kids and their kids and so on, or for college funds. Sometimes parents put money in for growth so that when you're ready to go to college, they've had money there sitting growing all this time so that they don't put a debt in their pocket and they can pay for your college. Okay. So the only thing with simple interest is that it takes a long time, and so we're going to see an example. So on our formula chart, we notice in our pink formula, if you go and look at it, at the very bottom, it says additional information. It gives you the formula. The formula says that your interest equals your principal times your rate times your time. So if you want to write interest, P stands for principal, R stands for rate, and then T stands for time in years, because it takes years for money to grow. So our formula is I equals P times R times T. Your interest equals your principal times your rate times your time. So what we're going to do is that we're going to get a work problem and we're going to identify, hey, what's the principal? What's my rate? What's my time? So it's pretty straightforward as to what it's talking about. Anytime you deposit money into an account or into anything, that is always your principal. So let's go ahead and do our first example. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to write it all down. It's a long story, but it has all the information you need. So let's start off. Yolanda deposits $3,000 into an account that earns 4.5% simple annual interest calculate the interest Yolanda earns after 6 years. Okay, so let's now go ahead and write our formula for simple interest. It's our interest equals our rate times our time. So looking at our story, still on deposits $3,000 into an account that earns 4.5 simple annual interest. Calculate the interest Yolanda earns after 6 years. So, do I have a principal?
Yes.
What's my principal? So let's go ahead and put a P right by principal. And then it says it earns 4.5%. What is that? Your rate, good job. And then it says she earns after 6 years. So what does that stand for? Time. Awesome. So it's pretty straightforward. So we're looking to know, we're solving for our interest. So I want to know, calculate the interest. So our interest we don't know yet, but we know our principal. Our principal is 3,000 times our rate, which is 4.5%. Write the whole thing, 4.5%. And then we're going to multiply it by our time, which is 6 years. Okay, so pick up your calculator. All right, so we're going to put in exactly what we saw. Our principal was 3,000. We're going to multiply that by our interest rate, which was 4.5%. So at 4.5, hit the question sign underneath the enter. There's a question mark to get our percent. And then we're going to multiply it by our years, which was 6 years. So that means our total interest on that money is $810. So we have our interest only she made was $810. So looking at that, did she make a lot of money really fast? No, she made a little bit of money and it just takes a couple of years. So that's why it's an interest that's really slow. So our interest only is at $810. That's just your interest. Okay, so here's the second part of the question. Our second part says, how much money does she have in her account? So let's know how much money does she have in her account. So what did she start off with? How much money did she start with in her account? 3,000, right? And that was our principal, right? The 3,000, that was our principal. And her money grew after 6 years. How much did it grow by? Okay, but how much money? $810. That was her interest that she made. So interest made. So how could I find out how much money she has at all? Add it together. So she has a total amount of $3,810 in her account. Okay, so we need to decipher, hey, what is my question asking for? Is it asking just interest or is it asking the total amount of money in her account? So anytime it's asking how much money she has in her account, it's saying everything, her interest and the money she deposited, okay? If it says, what's the simple interest? What is interest? It just wants to know her interest, which was at $810. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some practice problems together.